Hello everybody. My name is EOG Apollo and welcome back to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. In the last episode, we beat the first boss, literally, with our fists. And in this episode, I think I'm going to try to reach the outer walls and get to the library and all that stuff. I have a very interesting route that I take in the early game of Symphony of the Night. It's not really one that most people would really take, or it's not even one that I mostly recommend if it's your first time playing, because it's kind of tedious and it's also dangerous, I want to say. Mostly because I kind of run through a portion of the castle with some relatively tougher enemies. Don't know why I do it. I wish I could tell you exactly why I take the route that I do in this game, but I can't. Like, I don't have a good answer for it. Oops. I fucked that up. Fucked that up, too. I need to stop being bad. Imagine. Like, I'm a long ways away from the days in high school where I would basically do nothing but play Castlevania games in my free time. And fun fact, my current Xbox Live account, fun fact that literally nobody gives a shit about. My current Xbox Live account was actually initially created just to purchase Castlevania Symphony. Like, I made the account, and I was given the name Braced Frog, fucking 2315, I think. And it was like, okay, here you go. I was like, cool, I don't care what my name is, I just want to play Symphony of the Night. And man, I had a fucking field day. Ooh, that was like my first time getting to play Symphony of the Night on real hardware. And I was like, yes, sir. It was great, had a good time. I don't have the analog stick now, I just realized that. I've been playing with the D-pad this whole time. When it comes to Symphony, I can go either way, D-pad or analog stick. I usually like to play analog stick on consoles that allow it. And by that I mean the Xbox 360 version, because the Xbox 360's D-pad is a pile of hot garbage. Every other version though, I'll play with the D-pad. I actually play Ritual of the Night with the D-pad. And then I use the right analog stick for aiming shit. But anyways, the reason why what input method you use is like kind of important is, if you plan to use it, is Symphony of the Night has a spell system. That blue meter, that's your magic bar, and it does things. There we go. Like, for instance, Tetra Spirit. How do you do the spells? Well, if you notice, Alucard was standing and crouching a lot. They're like fighting game inputs, which is a really cool, interesting, decision. I'm not going to say it's the, only way this sort of thing should be implemented in one of these games. But I think it's really cool because, it allows the player to still have access to stuff like sub-weapons without needing to fiddle with a bunch of extra button, combos and stuff. And it also gives you access to some pretty powerful shit. How much MP do I have? Only 47. Spells like Soul Steal do a shitload of damage. Cost a lot of MP, but they do a shitload of damage and heal for a fuck ton of HP. So it comes with the trade-off of you have to be able to do stuff like quarter circles and half circles, and in some cases, 75th of a circle, like 3/4. So if you can't do those inputs, you can't use the spell system, but that's okay, because like I said, the game's pretty easy, and there's so many ways to play it. So if you're not capable, or you just don't want to play the game a certain way, you don't have to. You see how I'm handling my playthrough. You see the route I'm taking, the poor play on display, You see the route I'm taking, enemies I'm fighting, decisions I'm making. You don't have to do any of this shit. Play Symphony of the Night how you want to play Symphony of the Night, and I guarantee you'll be able to finish the game just fine. And I think that's both a really cool and kind of not so cool thing about the way this game was designed and balanced. Because, it makes it a pretty easy game, and one of the things I like in my Castlevania experience is difficulty, and Symphony of the Night doesn't really have that, but that doesn't mean I don't enjoy the fuck out of it, because it's still an expertly designed and, like, literally beautifully elegant, like, piece of software that I think everyone should experience at least once in their life. Speaking of experiences, this right here, if we were playing the Saturn version, this would be different. Perhaps. Who knows? Maybe, you know, if you're seeing this video, and I actually do end up fully recording the PlayStation 1 version, I'll have to do a bonus episode showing off the Saturn areas, because the Saturn version of Symphony of the Night has extra areas. But if I do end up playing the Saturn version, you won't even hear this commentary, so why does it matter to you? Or me? Or anybody? I don't know. We'll see. Can I get this yet? Oh, you can't even get... I don't think you can cross that gap without a double jump. Hang on. Which I don't know why I do it, but I run through that loop, and then I activate that shortcut, and then I run back. Like, I don't know why I do it. I literally, like, I couldn't give you a good reason, as to why, you know, I'm not even really gonna bother anymore, as to why I go through Symphony of the Night, like, this way specifically. It's just, it's something I've always done. Like, it's one of those things where you don't know why you're doing it, but you do it so much that you get into a habit of just kind of doing it. And then when someone asks you, like, dude, why the fuck are you doing it? You're like, It's like, you know, it's just, shit happens, you know? It becomes like a, you know, it's like a habit form. And you know what? Like I said, you know, it's not really hurting me, it's not really hurting you. So, I guarantee you, though, like, it could be like 10 years in the future when and if this channel is like more successful than my previous outings, people will see this Let's Play and I'll get like 800 comments about how I'm fucking trash at video games because I didn't do this specific strategy in a video game with like 800 bajillion different ways to play it that are all basically just as viable as each other. It's like, dude, you know, that's the kind of comment I hate. Is like, dude, I'm playing the game this way. If you don't like it, go watch a Let's Player who is playing the game that way. Like, what? Like I don't get it, man. Like, I mean, unless, like... Because it's like, why the fuck are you criticizing someone for not playing a game the specific way you're playing it when you came to their video to watch them play it? You know, it's like... Like, what are you doing, man? What are you, like... I don't get it. YouTube comments are a funny place. Sometimes you can find some pretty good stuff, some pretty genuine discussions, you know, people asking and answering questions, you know, giving good constructive feedback on a video, or, you know, raising a concern or saying like, hey, you know, if you're, like, I know you're struggling with this, you know, maybe try this, and, you know, it's like, boom. It's like that kind of comment on a Let's Play. It's like, hey, I know you're struggling with, like, this mechanic, or this fight, or this enemy archetype. Here's some tips that might help you. You know, that's great. Stuff like that is great. But, like, the comments are like, oh my fucking god, you're so trash at Symphony of the Night because you didn't, like, skip the Alucard using his equipment with this, like, specific setup on this specific mode. Like, it's, oh my god, you're not playing with super luck mode, and you're not doing the optimal route. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. If you want to... Here's my thing. If you want someone to do the optimal route, either A, fucking record the Let's Play yourself, buddy, or, just a thought, go watch someone who is. I guarantee you, there are so many YouTubers out there, right? So many people who do video game Let's Plays, and Symphony of the Night is one of the most popular, like, games in the franchise. I guarantee you, there are so many other Let's Plays that probably have what you want. Go find it. Don't fucking sit here wasting your goddamn energy, like, typing about it. I don't want to sit here wasting my breath bitching about it, but it happens. It's probably not going to happen to me, but it fucking happens. I'm tired of seeing it. Anyways, we'll talk about YouTube comments later.
You seem human, and yet, what do you here? I've come to destroy this castle.
What do you
Then we
hear is
have
my
the same
favorite
purpose.
line.
I'll trust you for now. I'm Maria. Who are you?
Alucard.
Not the talkative type, I can see. Well, perhaps we'll meet again. If you live that long. Farewell.
Oh my god. What do you hear? That's not even, like, the fault of the voice actor. That's just really bad fucking, like, localization. Oh my god. Unless the line in Japanese literally, like, is the Japanese equivalent of what do you hear. I don't speak the language. You know? I don't speak or read Japanese. Wish I could. Oh, you're a fucking, you know... You're like a weeaboo incel because you want to learn another language. No, bitch. I just want to learn another language. I think people who can speak more than one language are like actively seeked out the methods to learn another one and like mastered it and are fluent are like the coolest fucking people and have like the most power. Because like learning another language is like hard. And, you know, based on my very, 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 very limited understanding of things, you know, as an English speaker, some of the easier languages for me to learn, like, one of them would be, I think Spanish. That's what I remember being told in high school by my Spanish teacher, but I'm not, like, you know, I'm not smart. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's 100% the truth or that, you know, I know what I'm talking about, because I don't. But even learning Spanish past, like, a basic level for someone like me was really difficult. Magically sealed. Ooh, I wonder where we're gonna get the jewel to open that. Perhaps somewhere. I was gonna make a joke about like books and bookstores, but fucking I don't know. That's beyond the border of this Let's Play. Bazinga. Anyway. Anyways, that's like learning a language is hard, right? And learning a language like Japanese. Oh god, there's so much you have to learn. Because based on my extreme, like, even more limited understanding as an outsider, there's so many different ways that you can read and write the language. And by so many, I mean, like, more than the one way that Americans read and write English. So it's like, Jesus, I have to learn all of this, and that's a lot of work. It's work I want to one day, you know, like, undertake, because there's some Japanese media that I would love to, like, be able to consume that I just can't. Like, as far as I'm aware, like, for instance, the novels that made up the basis of what eventually became Megami Tensei, those are only in Japanese, and I want to read those books. I just don't know how to speak, read, or interpret Japanese without subtitles. So... what the fuck was that? I just heard a noise. Like a... like what, how would I describe that noise? It was this like... I don't know if the mic picked it up. I kind of hope it did, but I just heard like a come from outside my room, and I'm like fucking horrified now. Like, shit. Oh, why did I jump into that? Oh, it was a bad idea. Do I not have 50 MP? I do have 50 MP. Fuck. I'm trying to do Soul Steal. That was not it. You know what? Tetra Spirit. Oh, okay. I was doing Tetra Spirit wrong too. I was trying to do Soul Steal so I could recover health, but I guess I'm just really bad at doing half circles on this D-pad. So, you know. Also, you know, I talked about the lack of big challenge being one of my criticisms for Symphony of the Night. Using healing items is also fucking annoying, because you have to open the menu, equip the item, press the button, reopen the menu, and replace that empty slot with whatever whatever item was previously equipped before you use the healing item. It's tedious. The Saturn version doesn't have that issue, because it gives Alucard a third fucking hand. Also, I just completely ignored the fact that we grabbed some pretty powerful gear early on. The Jewel Knuckles and the Mirror Cuirass. The big ticket item here is the Jewel Knuckles, because it's just far more powerful than my bare hands, and it still is a punchy weapon, so it still has that, you know, double hit bullshit, and it's fucking hilarious. The Mirror Cuirass isn't super powerful, but it is useful, because if I remember correctly, Mirror Cuirass stops you from being petrified by yellow Medusa heads, which, when you get to the clock tower area, because, you know, oh my goodness. It's Castlevania, there's a clock tower, so it's really helpful there. Speaking of Castlevania, here is your Castlevania 2 reference for the day. Batman. Castlevania 2. You could have been so much better than you are. Can you imagine, right, let's ponder for a minute. Because, you know, if you know, you know, but if you don't know, Castlevania 2 was, like, the original attempt at a Metroidvania. Because, you know, it had this, you know, it had the more non-linear, open-ended level design. You needed specific items and movement upgrades to, like, get places, and, you know, had that aspect to the game, and it even had some light RPG elements. But it just wasn't executed well, like, at all. So, you know, that was fun. But can you imagine what kind of world we'd live in if Simon's Quest was a linear stage-to-stage action game? That'd be sick. Like damn, that'd be kind of cool to see. I'd love to see it, but you know, who knows? Maybe someday. But anyways, we're about to go fight the next boss, and you know, oh my god. He's using a sword. He's cheating on his own what am I thinking here? His own commitment to his playstyle. If that is incorrect, you will see why. Because the next boss fight is the wall? Oh. But the demons within our own soul. The doppelganger. The doppelganger, you fight the doppelganger multiple times throughout the course of the game. And as far as I remember, I don't know if this applies to the other time. Wow, that was fast. I don't know if this applies to the other times you fight him or just the first one, but if you hit him with red rust, he gets cursed and can't, like, physically attack you, and can only attack via sub-weapon and transformation. So there you go. End of the story. You know, when I talked about Symphony of the Night having all these different options for the player and different ways they can play the game, and stuff like that encompasses, like, literally that. There's just so much to Symphony of the Night, and like, when you think about it, it initially seems like it'd be this complex fucking game that is, like, impossible to understand, but it's not. And you know what? I think that helps. I think that kind of, like, shows how elegantly Symphony of the Night has been put together. Like, man. And here we are, in the long library. One of my favorite tracks in the game, Wood-Carved Partition. Beautiful fucking song, a beautiful fucking environment. And there's also the shop area. Like, it's literally all the way at the back. So you kind of have to fight for your life to get it. Which is funny. I was gonna make a point about that being kind of a lot like what capitalism actually feels like working through a pandemic, but you know, I think that kind of speaks for itself. I don't think that's what they were going for there. I'm just reading too deep into it, but come on. Think about it. I'm kidding. I'm not going to say you're like, it's like game theory time. The Symphony of the Night is actually anti-capitalist propaganda, and and that's why Koji Igarashi left Konami in 2008. That's really fucking out there. That's like the most. That is probably the most out there joke I've ever made in a Let's Play. And there is the potential that if I get the Saturn version working, that you will not have ever heard it, and that makes me very, very sad. Alright. I should... Ooh. That was clean! Did you see that? Beautiful. These enemies curse you, which means you can't swing your melee weapon, but the lanterns drop on curse potions. So, it's like whatever. It's like not even a big deal. Shit just happens and you're just like, okay, whatever, bro. Fucking, dude, I hate reading. Reading is for chumps, honestly. Like, I'm kidding. If you read books, that's great. High school just kind of destroyed any want that I ever had to like read recreation for the most part. Like I used to, okay, to put it in perspective, I used to read so much and I'd bring so many books to class that I'd get in fucking trouble for it. Like I had like teachers had to start taking away my stacks of books at the start of every class and then would give them back to me when I started getting all my work done. Like it was bad. But like I loved reading because I was like, wow, these experiences are like cool and really entertaining, and I'm like, wow, this is neat, and it inspired me. And then like high school happened, and like the only thing I read in high school that I liked was like The Great Gatsby. That's it. Great Gatsby was good, but it wasn't like, you know, it didn't blow my mind. So I'm just sitting here like, dude, fuck all this nonsense. Dude, fuck reading. Video games, though?
It's been a long time, old one.
Oh, it's you, Master Alucard. What do you need?
I need your help.
Young Master, I cannot aid one who opposes the Master.
You won't go unrewarded.
Really? In that case, just tell me what you need.
You know, make the joke of like, oh, you know, he hates reading and doesn't want to read recreationally anymore.
I'm interested
But,
in this.
motherfucker, you play JRPGs. You practically read a novel every time you play through it. I'm like, they're not wrong. Like, people aren't wrong.
Like you. Like you.
I still have some money left. Should I buy some gear? I would also like to point out I never really buy gear from here. I'll buy it when I'm
Like you.
take
Like you.
+3 to int. Oh, I'm broke now.
Farewell for
Alright,
now.
oh well. The library card. There we go. So things that we bought. I bought a Jewel of Open, a library card, and a piece of armor, as well as a map and a magic scroll. What do all these items do? Jewel of Open. You remember that blue door we couldn't open earlier? Well, now we can. Jewel of Open. What the fuck, dude? Really, Konami? Like, that's the best name you could give it? I mean, it's just funny, you know? It's just really funny to me. Dude, you know, I'll rag on that as, like, being kind of a funny thing to call an item, but there was actually very little in the way of, like, archaic-ass bullshit in Symphony of the Night, you know? And that's something I, like, and what I mean by archaic-ass bullshit is, like, you know, really poorly translated item and enemy names. I think everything here is like fairly, you know, like representative. Except for the English dialogue. I don't necessarily think that's exactly what they were going for. But like I said earlier, I can't speed or... I can't even speak English! What makes you think I can speak and interpret Japanese? I can't. Good lord. I'm 21 years old and I still can't, like, properly speak the language I grew up speaking. Anyways, moving on to describing the rest of the shit that I just bought. The library card. The library card will teleport you from anywhere on the regular map or the inverted map back to the library. Okay, fuck getting up close and personal with spear guards. I hate it. It's really useful for just getting around quickly, or if you need to like get to a potion in a pinch, because you know you just took a lot of damage, but you don't have any like potions on you, or you need to sell a bunch of gems and make some money. You know, there's all that stuff. Ooh, what was that? I guess we'll find out in a second. Let's go through this door first. So, and then the castle map is pretty self-explanatory. Just reveals unexplored portions of the map. And then the scroll, the magic scroll that I bought, actually just straight up shows you what the input is for a spell. You can discover spell input yourself. Boom. I keep trying to do Soul Steal, but it's just not working out. I'll get it eventually. But as you progress through the game, if you can't or don't know the spell inputs by heart, then you can buy scrolls to unlock them all. And I'm pretty sure by the end of the game you can purchase every scroll. I haven't had to purchase scrolls in a long time because I don't use magic too much. I just kind of do the inputs and they happen. Like I mostly use like Soul Steal and Tetra Spirit. But you know, anyways. I think I'll do it for that episode. It was a little bit longer, but, you know, got some more exploration done. Got some more sections of the castle open. And we're actually about to get the first transformation next episode, which is pretty cool. So anyways, thank you all for watching this episode of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. In the next one, more progress and, you know, just cool shit in general. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.